Hello. Hello and welcome to our proMX Dynamics Week 2020. This is our third day and today we will talk about some very interesting things and how we connect Dynamics 365 and AutoCAD. And this is a session improving product lifecycle management with AutoCAD and Dynamics 365. My name is Yelena Yaruchik. I will be your moderator today. And please feel free to ask questions during this session so we can answer during the session or in the end of the session. And today with us, we have Peter Schliff. This is Autodesk Developer Partner Manager, EMEA Autodesk GmbH, and Manuel Hanak, Director Presale proMX again. So yeah, let's start. I will place all links for the next events on Thursday and Friday in a Q&A session. And Manuel, your turn.
Oh, okay. Sorry, forgot to turn on my microphone.
Yeah,
thank you very much for your introduction. Happy to hear today. So, as you mentioned, my name is Manuel Hanak. I'm located here in Germany, and I'm responsible for the pre-sales related activities at proMX. I'm worked for more than 10 years in the consultancy area. In many different projects and verticals, and today we're going to focus on the new possibilities together if we're connecting new platforms. In the past, or in the last couple of years, we mostly talked about and from today's perspective, from a non-integrated world. Means so the Microsoft processes and Microsoft products have been pretty well integrated, but in scenarios where we have as well developers on board and talking about project management processes, those tasks was not end-to-end integrated into each other's. Means project manager has performed his planning, scheduled his task, assigned those work to the engineers and to the architects, and they did their construction work more or less offline, and the files got stored somewhere in a file share or in a OneDrive or on a SharePoint or in an built-in repository for drawings. But there was no direct feedback loop back to the project manager, to the project itself, to get knowledge about how is the drawing fit into the requirements from the customer, for example. So what is integrated? What was part of those drawings finally? And now if we switch now the terms, or we still talk about, if we talk about project durations like we did it yesterday together with Cycle, project duration is pretty well integrated in the whole Microsoft 365 or Office 365 world, like Teams and based on a common data service. And we can leverage a lot of those functions from the Power Platform to automate processes to enrich the system data and to prove for valid data finally. Now, if we switch to the integrated version, to the new integrated world, we have now a possibility with Autodesk Forge to connect directly to an API, which delivers us possibilities to extract data, for example, from drawing files directly and store those informations belong the project inside of project operations and connected to tasks, connected to requirements placed by a customer based on several regions, for example. And so we can incorporate those work. So still the project manager is planning his tasks, is assigning those tasks to engineers, and they start the work locally in their used AutoCAD, for example. And the result of those drawings or their work gets in the backend stored directly on the project level, and so we can see what was the result of the planning and how it fits it in the needs, and are the tasks are really proceed successfully and can be closed. This is gains from project management perspective. Is now a lot of more insights and capabilities to see and to interact directly. And now in that way, we can integrate those engineers much closer into our desired processes. The next couple of slides, like mentioned, Peter Schlipp from Autodesk will show us more about those capabilities Forge can deliver to us, especially if Forge is the focus for today. And after that, I will perform a demo of an integrated solution, Dynamics 365, together with Forge to see how it can look like from a daily perspective. So, Peter, can you overtake?
Yes. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me start from the beginning. So thanks, Manuel, for this introduction. I'm very happy and welcome to everybody to talk about a little bit about the background. What is Forge actually? You are using proMX is using one or several APIs, but let's see a little bit more what it is about. So I am Peter Schlipp, Senior Manager Forge Advocacy and Support based in Munich, living in Munich. I am from Munich and I work on an EMEA level. If you're going to we run around Forge.
Peter,
I would like to introduce.
For interruption. Could you please switch off your camera so we will hear you a little bit better?
Okay.
Now it should be better.
Okay, I start and let's see how is the voice quality better now?
I think yes.
Yes, okay. So I would like to bring Forge into the context and the vision of Autodesk, the future of making things, and a new term called convergence. Convergence, I heard that now during this user event called Autodesk University, which runs this week as well. Convergence in the way of converging cloud business with desktop business, manufacturing business with the construction industry, and also converging the development part of the business with in the IT environment. So convergence, we are going to hear that quite often in the future. Now, you know that Autodesk is covering not just the CAD and design environment, but also what we call make and use in manufacturing and in the construction industry, better design, construction, and operate. And in this context, let's talk about opportunities enabled by Forge. So we realize that customers' expectations in some cases don't really 100% fit with our standard portfolio. And that's why we now, or since a couple of years, did bring to market Autodesk Forge as a development platform, because it will allow our customers to better integrate it, as we will see in a couple of minutes with Manuel's example, integration to enterprise data, to BIM models, better visualize complex models, and provide the information to team, eventually remote. So personalization, individualization, customizing, this you can do with Autodesk Cloud Platform. It's a set of web services. Development skills are necessary, so it's not a product out of the box. And that's why also the margins and the customer value are much higher than compared to out of the box or training services, and the unique customer value as well. I will talk about three scenarios, three different areas to start with Forge. Insights, automation, and data. Insights for better decisions, automation for better or automate routine work, automate processes, and data in a sense of transforming digital data into meaningful data. A word about the Forge services. There are many more, but let's focus on those three areas regarding insights, automation, and data. model derivative API and data management API is needed in a way that if you want to upload, transform a 3D model of something, can be a machine, can be a building, and translate. It's going to be translated on our translation service into a derivatives or format called SVF or SVF2 recently, which can be used in any browser on a mobile phone. Automation, design automation APIs, I will talk about it in a minute. We have several about it, and proMX is using one of them. Webhooks, it's about notification. And if it comes to data, our customers and software developer partners are sometimes using, in addition to that, PP60 API and reality capture for photogrammetric and laser scan operations. The viewer API is not absolutely necessary, but in most of the cases, people really want to use the fantastic web-based viewer, which is, by the way, also free of charge. Some APIs cost money, some are free of charge. Now, this is a kind of simplified architecture model. Autodesk Forge is a development platform, a cloud platform, and it's where we, Autodesk, want to help to connect people, processes, and information across a single common data platform. The foundation services at the bottom are built with Forge services and set this foundation for a common data platform, helping to support workflows across the entire project lifecycle. Every participant, every stakeholder gets the right data wherever and whenever they need it and at a place they need it. And we can integrate into our offering tools around design, build, construct, operate. But that's not always. We also see developers who use Forge standalone. Now, I added the icons. That's something I added to the corporate slide here, because I think I want to make sure that everybody understands that the ecosystem around this Autodesk Forge platform is very important, and the ecosystem consists of third-party app developer solutions. For those third-party app developers could be like proMX, a system integrator, can be a customer, or an app developer or independent software vendor. We really very much depend on those partners. Let's start with the first theme or scenario: insights, better insights for timely decisions, reducing risk and cost, be on schedule, avoid bad surprises. The challenge in many cases is that BIM and other data which are needed to really efficiently run projects are stored in different, multiple, in some cases isolated or siloed locations, and as well as in different formats coming from us, Autodesk, and from different companies, competitors or subcontractors. Now here, Forge, the solution allows you to connect those data from your BIM models and also integrate it to enterprise data, and combining those information and running information workflows to the different stakeholders or project members in the project. And here I show you how that looks like. So I load this model as a Revit model. So this is now streaming on my browser, on my computer, and we have on the left side the BIM model, this Revit model of a building, and that's connected on the right side with the database. For example, if I want to see the copper elements, I click on copper, and it is directly connected to the cost breakdown. Changing the color, price of copper from 250 to 25, for example, what would be extreme, will change the pie diagram. Pie chart, so all plastic, for example, clicking on the plastic elements or on the wood elements is the same thing. Let's see, plastic, for example, price change. Where is our plastic? Here's plastic, 280. Let's change to 100, and you can see the direct link to the cost breakdown. Okay, so that's a nice demo example. I do have a real world example as well here from NBS, National Building Standards, created by the Royal Institute of British Architects. I do have a test account. This is a website. So NBS, Royal British Institute of Architects, is creating, or they created a solution which is leveraged by the Forge platform to synchronize building models of their members, so British architects, against specifications. And that has to be accessible for anyone with less technology barriers. It's easy because it's a website. I will show you. I do have a test account here. I hope it works. Yeah, it works, because in the dry run yesterday I had an issue here, but now we are lucky. So this is, imagine you are an architect, you can upload on this website any of your projects in almost any format. Here you can see a simplified Forge viewer. I call it menu here. And let's, for example, click on the deck system, and on the right side, fully it appears, yes, the specification. So the architect can synchronize the model against the British specification for this element. So that was NBS. Now that's our next example is from Sweco. This is infrastructure, large Nordic from Scandinavia company, Autodesk customer. And what they realize here is one of the few very large infrastructure projects enabled and powered by Forge. They even gave this solution a branding called Smart. We're going to see that in a minute. So Sweco uses Forge to create a very interactive infrastructure management system. And I know that they already worked on they already had an issue and tracking system and integrated with issues and tracking system. It's about identifying and tracking issues on large infrastructure models. It is actually enabling also the end customer could be I think it's a Norwegian project, the Norwegian authorities, public institutions, to review design processes and actual progress also during the production or the construction itself. So it is not just to optimize the workflow for Sweco and the subcontractors, it's also including the end customer. They estimate that it's saving hundreds of hours per week where we can avoid meetings. And it's eliminating also the time, I would have said time to market, but here it's more time to provide the public with a solution at the end of the road and the tunnels. Now I show you a video. Where is this video? Let me see. Smart Sweco model review tool. There's no sound, so I can comment a little bit. This is a very large infrastructure 3D model of a railway system embedded in the GIS system. Now they can directly zoom into a specific issue, locate it, and make it visible. Add comments and attachments about the issue. Now they zoom into this specific area where something happened wrongly. I think it's this part which is not placed in the right way. and assign the issue to a specific person with a title. Okay. And the next example is about J.E. Dunn. J. Dunn is a large construction company, and I like this example because it had been one of the very first digital transformation customers of ours in the Forge context, or even before, 4 or 5 years ago. And they wanted to integrate BIM with their internal ERP system with focus on cost estimation and address silo data and also avoid lack of visibility between customer, architects, subcontractors. The cool part is that the video, it's just a picture, I comment on that, the side effect was that they won more bids. The primary initiative was to optimize the cost situation and structure. And then they learned that with the giving access, their customers access and better visibility about the progress and the options and alternatives, customers liked it, preferred it, and won. So they won more opportunities. I also heard that they could realize during this COVID scenario in the United States, based on digital material, digital data of pop-up hospitals in large conference areas, also in days, new hospitals, because they had the data and could multiply it and realize it in a couple of days or weeks instead of months. That is a nice additional side effect. Just for fun, I do have more examples, but we don't have time for everything. This is just a short idea. This is a tramway of a Chinese customer. How you can also let your end customer walk into your project, into your product, and make it visible. Could be digital mock-up. That is possible in many different areas. The IBM research, do we have? Okay, I think we have time. Let's look at that. With IBM research, they also used for a project called Cognitive Building Forge. I think it comes with sound, so let's listen to it. So we didn't help them. They realized that completely alone. It's called My Cognitive Campus in Dublin.
You can find a coffee shop in building 2, 4, and 6.
There's building 3.
Building 3 is in the center of the IBM Technology Campus, Dublin.
Where's the next 3?
I accelerate a little bit. So they also connect to IoT data.
Temperature, illumination, and occupancy.
Temperature, illumination, and occupancy added. All values are within defined range.
Add energy.
Energy added. The consumption of building 1 is out of range. The energy consumption is out of the predicted range. Air handling unit 6 is most likely the cause of the anomaly. 20 degrees centigrade. Temperature is 24.2 degrees centigrade.
So that was the IBM building. Oh, where's my PowerPoint? Here's my PowerPoint. Now, the second area of starting a Forge project beside insights for better decisions is automation. Automation to automate processes, speed up, or for example, avoid routine jobs. Let's see. We have a couple of design automation APIs based on Forge. So imagine that's AutoCAD in the cloud without user interface, like proMX is using it. Now, during Autodesk University yesterday, on the first day, it was announced that we also will add, in addition to AutoCAD, 3D Studio Max, Revit, Inventor, Civil 3D, because we realize that infrastructure projects are getting more and more important in the future. So all those design automation APIs based on Forge help you to run scripts on your design files, for example, to translate words or thousands of PDFs into DWG or the other way around. A partner example. That's a nice one I really like from Philips, the partner who realized it is called Synapse from the Netherlands. And I think it comes without sound, so it's only 1 minute. Called Signify. From BIM objects, they load a product database of the lightnings using also Unity. So it's about automating the position of lightnings based on this Philips Lux. New Revit file, design DA4R means design automation, and writing it back into BIM 360 to share the results with the other stakeholders. And people can avoid routine work, 1 click, 20 seconds, 500 lights fixed. Synapse. Synapse, by the way, they run a service called Verify 3D, and this service is the base of that solution. So with that web application, they offer to the market, and it allows model checking, Revit or IFC model checking, for example, against local standards. It is a nice example how important it is for us, as I said at the beginning, to work together with the ecosystem, because we, Autodesk, we alone, we do not realize the solutions. Some of them with our consulting team, but 90% are done by partners. Now I come to my last, third area of interest or area of starting a Forge project, data. Data, digitizing the company, digital transformation, and so on. So I would say it's about confirming digital data into meaningful data which can be read by human beings. And here you get an idea how large this ecosystem just around BIM 360 became already in that world, in different disciplines, cost estimation, bid management, and so on. The challenge is that modern buildings, large plants, complex organizations to be interconnected with systems, with IT systems, external machinery, or to use this term convergence with also the manufacturing environment. Connecting the data, including IoT data, and monitor it. Now, here I have to offer a nice example from IVIVA about airports. I think that's one of the most advanced examples showcasing how you can make use of digital data coming from sensors or 3D models and convert it in a solution which gives the facility management of a large port the possibility to automate processes and to better make decisions. Let's have a look on that. That's YouTube video again.
This is iViva Smart BIM. You made a perfect BIM that encapsulates all design elements of your building. How does that turn your building into a smart building? iViva Smart BIM turns your portal, enabling you to walk through the 3D model and access systems and equipment along the way. iViva Smart BIM is a live dashboard which highlights things that need your attention by masking the noise. For example, the location of currently active incidents or where currently available facilities are located. iViva Smart BIM abstracts out day-to-day operations of your systems and equipment by hiding the complexity of individual makes and models. You can turn on air conditioning and change temperature setting right on the 3D canvas without needing any knowledge of actual equipment involved. Let's say someone reported an incident. A pin appears on the canvas. We can take a quick look at the details or jump right in to investigate further. Now that we have access to everything around us, we can check the CCTV to see what is going on in there. If visibility is not good, we can turn on the lights, turn off air conditioning to prevent potential contamination of air. Capture a screenshot from the 3D canvas as an incident photo to help first responders aware of the exact location. iViva Smart BIM brings buildings to life by combining the power of BIM and IoT, radically changing how smart buildings are operated and tenant services are enabled. What's more, it protects the investment made in making your Revit files. iViva Smart BIM, intelligently designed.
So that's it from my side. We were talking about, oh, what is this here?
Hello, everybody. My name is Jonathan Reeves from Jonathan Reeves Architecture. And today I'm going to be sharing with you a presentation that I
Yeah, thank you, Peter. Thank you very much for this nice presentation. That was really great. Even like I have never seen that really smart building stuff. That was really great. And Manuel, please, your turn then. Yeah, and we don't hear you. Manuel, are you with us?
Today everything, the technique is working pretty fine. Okay.
I'm sorry, there was running something in the background, but I was done. So thanks a lot, and I'm waiting for questions.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you very much, Peter. It was really impressive to see the possibilities which are given here. So let's see how I can compete with that. If I'm now going to show the demo of the integrated world we generated from the point of view to incorporate from a project management perspective with those designers, architects, when they working on in their drawings. But first, before we start into the system, let's have a short overview of what we are now going to see in the system. We will start directly in Dynamics 365, opening a project and see those assigned objects, which are more or less on the floor level on the building, to see those several floors, and there as well as one of those stuff Peter showed us. The viewer is directly integrated, and that means the files are displayed natively, and you have the full viewer experience, so you can zoom in, zoom out, you can make your measurements or some other stuff directly inside of Dynamics 365. So this wasn't possible before if you only store, for example, a simple image to your project. As well, in the same way to using those design automation, we can extract the data we specified from that drawing assigned to that project and store as a BOM directly along those drawings inside of system, and then can work directly with that. Those changes can be then afterwards exported, for example, to an Excel file, sent over to a customer, or can directly made accessible for the customer. We can as well, if the project manager sees there's something getting wrong, then he can directly interact with the drawing and reallocate, for example, a specific object in the planning and update those planning. In addition, we will switch to the view of an engineer and upload some new data to the system, and then see what is happening inside of the system. We are now in a project overview in Dynamics 365, and we start in opening one specific project. In our case, in our showcase today, it's a building from Microsoft Advanta A, located in Bellevue. You can have as well a view on the location, so it's pretty simple in built-in maps, and then you can verify your location directly to see, okay, this is the right building, which we see here, and you can as well switch to see the building maybe in more detail directly in your project without any need. So this is not AutoCAD related or integration, but this is well a pretty nice possibility for those which are involved inside of the project to see which object we are talking about. Behind the objects, we have those information stored I mentioned before. So we have several inside of this project. We're talking about several floors we are planning for that customer. And if we open one of those specific floors, we see directly the preview file is loading. It should be loading. Just a second. Okay, it seems that it has stopped working. Then let's make it in the vice versa. Let's generate a new object on that specific project, and then switch to the engineer to assign a drawing directly to that object. If we generate a new one, we need to give them a name. Other floor, maybe. For example, we can store the data, and this is now triggering in the backend and process to hand over this object number to a design engineer, which will see that directly integrated in his Teams channel. If we now go to the team, we see those projects are directly synced, and in the Microsoft Bellevue campus, we can go to that specific project, and that new object is added here. In addition, this is now an empty folder, so the rest of the synchronization is now happening asynchronous. So you can now hand over some specific files for those engineers, for example, to store some additional data alongside with those objects, for example, requirements lists from the customers, other drawing files, or maybe some additional added information about the location, about regulations, locally regulations, like as we have seen before from an AutoCAD perspective in those examples. You can now simply drag and drop a new drawing file. This gets now uploaded. And as well, due to the fact that we are totally synced, I have this as well available in my local shared files where I can directly open it and start working on it. Just a second, AutoCAD is loading that file. And those things are really happening pretty fast. we have now those file opened in our local AutoCAD, and we could start working on it. But before we do so, let's see what has happened inside of the system. So we switch back to this another floor we have generated previously. And as we can see, the file is now loading directly into the Dynamics 365, and we can see the same drawing we have opened before in AutoCAD. That means now we can zoom in, we can zoom out, we can see those available layers, and as well we can see some additional information alongside to each object inside of the drawing, like the unique ID, for example. And in the backend as well, we have all information from the drawing automatically extracted and stored alongside of that object. That means if we now connect those information with the requirements and with the project, we have all from project management perspective, we have all information in a place to really have the full insight is what is happening, how is the progress, and what needs to be done, what is the next best action on that. You can sort with the grouping. You can, if we go back to the drawing, let's see, let's choose a specific number. This B15, you can now use as well those search functionalities inside the system to see that specific object with all interfaced attributes in the backend. Now the design engineer locally continues his working in that object. For example, let's just place some other objects in those empty rooms. Should be enough. And he saves his work locally, so there's no need to continue with some other stuff. So I can close AutoCAD as well. In the backend now, that file gets updated automatically. That means there's a system job is recognizing that this file has been changed a few seconds ago, like you see it here. I can refresh the page as well. It's easier maybe to reopen it. So you see here, the bug file with the rest of data has been added to the system, and those changes I performed now locally are synced back to the system without any need to touch it again or to have an additional job running or something like that. And the integration now is handing over that object again to the design automation, which extract all the data included in that drawing and store it again, and updating the bill of material we store alongside the project. So as you can see now, all of those new computers are available here as well, without any need to rework that. You can, as mentioned before, you can add as well those measurements to see how many chairs or how many space do I need to assign to each of those employees, for example. Those information could be extracted as well and stored and compared to those requirements in the specific location of that building, and then get an automatic approval, for example. If I now see, okay, for example, one of those computers is not in the right order, it should be placed in one lower level. There's no need now, if I'm sure about that, to call back the designer to change that data. I can just directly get the ID of that specific object and take a look for it in the stored bill of material. Here it is. And then I can just simply change those coordinates, which defines where the object is located inside of the drawing. Let's move it a little bit down. Hopefully it's enough. just save it and hit a button, sync it back to the drawing. So this will trigger now the design automation, which gets that updated data, rework those drawing, sync it back and replace the file in the preview. So in the back end, now it's being generated, just take a few seconds. And then now we see that object is replaced inside of the drawing and all files are updated accordingly. And this integrated world is not possible without the possibilities of Forge. So we, as you have seen before in the presentation of Peter, we only leveraging a small set of those capabilities. So in future, we are really on the plan or on our roadmap to use more and more of those functionalities to make the life for both sides easier from the project management perspective, which is our origin, but as well to connect the project manager and those engineers which are working on those drawings closer together to have one common place to work with and and have an easier life at the end. Thanks. This was it from my side. And we are now ready for your questions.
Yes, I think that we have a couple of minutes to wait for the questions from our audience, but I have like question from my side. Do this tool can really save a lot of time for project managers or for engineers? Like,
I think yes. So I have a centralized location of those files, which I can directly store it alongside with the rest of my project data, like the requirements from the customer, like the status reports. And I do not need to open a second tool. Maybe the project manager has no AutoCAD license at all, but he can see directly and as well. On his mobile, if he's in a train or waiting on an airport, and you can see directly what has happened, how's the progress on this drawing currently, and in the back end we store directly the data gets generated by those drawers, and can validate the requirements finally.
That's cool. That's really cool. Okay, let's wait for a couple of minutes for the questions, and I will do just small promotion of our next sessions. So tomorrow we'll have session connected to our new add-ons. This is holiday management, resource planning, travel expenses, and there will be also our proMX 365 solution for construction. This is a professional solution for engineers and architects, like very connected to this session. So I would like to invite you to this session tomorrow. And on Friday, we will have a session in the morning, and it also will be connected to marketing tool, Dynamics 365 marketing and field service. Okay. Today there are not that much questions, but I think, this presentation was one of the most interesting we had this week, and a lot of videos. Thank you very much, our dear speakers, that you prepared so much visual content. That was really impressive and very interesting to see and to learn about that. This is definitely something new. And I think that we also will prepare some kind of article for that, and this video will be available also for all people who didn't join us today, but they will have access to this video. Okay, so I just placed the link to this chat, so in case you want to leave your recommendations or feedback, feel free to do that. And we really do appreciate for your participation. And have a great day or evening wherever you are, and stay safe.